How are you?
Good, thanks yourself.
Very well, man. It's been a long time since we last spoke. I remember the year was 2017.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity of speaking with the final year optometry class at the University of the Free State.
I was looking almost the stressed that I am now.
Why are you stressed now? Why are you stressed?
I'm not drying out from seeing patients in the morning. So, yeah.
Man, you have come full circle, hey? It feels like it was just the other day that we connected and we met, and now you're a business owner in the heart of Bloemfontein.
Yes.
Please, how has that journey been from 2017 when you graduated to you having your own practice? How did that come about?
I must say it has been quite a journey.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I expected this to happen at all. So my career started basically in Pretoria. So in 2017 I started working at practice in Pretoria, in the warehouse, where I worked under Peter Rebia.
Okay. He's a fantastic leader.
Awesome leader. Very, very good experience there. Really would recommend it to anyone staying in Gauteng. He really took me under his wing, taught me a lot of the things that I know now about testing eyes. Took my eyes from 3 hours to 20 minutes.
20 minutes, you shouldn't say that he is. There's a gentleman who would be very upset with you, but I know you're joking.
Yeah. So actually, no, we actually do have a policy at the practice. Even if it's not COVID, we test only an hour because I do feel we need to spend time with patients a lot. You do get to know patients, especially in Bloemfontein. It's a smaller town, it's not as thing. So you actually do get to build a bit of relationship with your patients. Very nice and come back. So it started off there. I was there for about 9 months, and then I got an offer from people who started Optic Edge as a group. Ines Macker and Alan Anderson.
I was actually in class with them.
I remember that.
I was in class with them when I was doing first year, second year, third year. Fantastic guys.
Very cool guys. So he always speaks as much as you. So.
Yes.
But so then they phoned me, told me that they're going to start 2 practices in Bloem, part of the Optic Edge group. If I didn't want to maybe come and join them. At that stage, it was only going to be me working as an optometrist in the group. Came from Pretoria, left there about October 2018, and joined this practice in end of October 2018. So we've been open for almost 2 years now. So in 3 weeks time, 2 years.
And you have been here from the onset.
From the onset.
How did that experience be for you? Coming from the practice where you were at in Pretoria to now having to start something from the ground up. Are you from Bloem?
I am from Bloem.
Okay, so at least you had that understanding of the culture and the dynamics of Bloemfontein. Okay?
So that was one of the main factors that really motivated me, because in Pretoria, my now wife was not yet my fiancée, then she was working at a school in Johannesburg. I was working in Pretoria, so we didn't get to see each other often, and both our parents still lived here. Okay. So it was quite a logical move to come back and spend some time with family as well. I love Bloemfontein. As I said, I grew up here, went to school here, high school, and at Koffie's studied optometry. So when I started here with this, it was quite a daunting task. Didn't know anything about business management, because on that side I was basically testing eyes.
You were just optometrist, so now you have to wear a different head altogether.
Peter told me I was going to test 1,000 eyes before August in that year. I didn't believe him, but we got there. So I was basically testing eyes. I didn't know at all about dispensing and all of that stuff. So I needed to learn a lot about business and needed to know a lot about just basic management. And it was tough in the first 6 months. Especially training your staff, I'm not knowing what I'm doing, and had a lot of support from the group, I must say. So it's been a good journey, and I must say it shaped me as an optometrist. I feel much more rounded off at the moment.
And would you say that your business skills have increased, your clinical skills have increased, your confidence? Would you say all of that now is at the level at which you wanting it to be, or it's still continuing to grow?
I think it's always continuing to grow. I feel, especially for clinical skills, I think you can never have enough clinical skills. I see that a lot with CPD articles, and I read something new about glaucoma drops or new things in cataract surgery, and I think now I need to get to a specialist just to find out more about it. So definitely, clinically wise, we can always grow. Business wise as well, definitely.
There's someone who's watching this video who's young, newly qualified, and has got a passion for starting their own business. You also being a young person,
Yes.
what advice would you give them for someone who's just left university last year or the year before and is looking at going into opening or starting their own business? What advice would you give them based on the lessons that you are currently still having to learn and going through?
Yes. So I think about it, there was actually a patient here yesterday with his son, and he's grade 11 now. So he asked me about optometry, and he wants to go study optometry. The one thing that I always tell people when they tell me they want to go into optics is find the reason why you want to do it, but make it a good enough reason so you have a passion long term in that.
I like that.
For me, my whole journey has been a thing of faith. So I'm a very firm believer in Jesus, and
I like that.
my business is based on that as well. So for me,
I feel it. I feel it.
I know. That's why I'm allowing it. But yeah, so for me, I really feel that we've been called to much more than just working in a vocation, whether it be a doctor or optometrist, wherever you're working.
That's fantastic. Let's pause the video.
Yes.
Okay.
Franco, I've just witnessed you in action. Obviously, the video got interrupted. I even lost my train of thought as to what we were talking about.
Yes.
But two elderly patients came in. Firstly, I was impressed with how you made them feel like they belong here. Is that important for you?
Yes, I do feel that's important. I think working in business has made me realize a lot that we sometimes as people can be very, I don't want to say arrogant, but we can be arrogant sometimes, especially if we're going to a place where we expect a specific service and we don't necessarily get it. I always say put yourself in someone else's shoes. So I always tell the staff as well, if a patient is going off about something or if they are having a bad day, it's probably because something else has happened. And if it's our fault, we sort it out for them. But we need to put ourselves in the shoes of other people as well. And I always want that to be the feeling when you walk into the doors, that this can be a happy place and somewhere that you can experience just a bit of a smile.
I like that because I noticed the gentleman was having a conversation with you.
Yes.
And one thing that I noticed, which a lot of practices forget to do, is that part of the dispensing, especially for people that are wearing or coming to get their new pair of glasses from a new place, is that it's not about just collecting the glasses and going. You were actually attentive towards explaining how she must wear the glasses, when she should be taking them off, how she should be putting them in the case, how to clean the glasses. All those different components, we were taught about that in our first year of classes. But over the years, we tend to sort of like forget about that. I was super impressed by how you were constantly explaining yourself to them.
Thank you.
Where did that come from?
So I must say, I think that definitely came from a culture that was great in Spectacle Warehouse. So we started working. I think for me, well, it started earlier than that. For me, I'm a people person, so I like interactions with people, and I feed from people's energy. So if they have negative energy, then I don't really feel good after the conversation. So I always try to be positive, try to keep the conversation going. All my friends will say I talk way too much, but that's me. I like talking. I like speaking to people. I like keeping the energy up and keeping a positive vibe. But yeah, I think a lot of that in terms of just interacting with patients, I did learn with my first job in Pretoria.
And you brought that here.
Yes.
In terms of making sure that Optic Age also have its own identity and its own culture.
Yes.
The people that you see in Bloemfontein, I have to ask you this question. Do you find yourself seeing a lot of Afrikaans patients more than non-Afrikaans patients, or do you find that in your particular practice here, it's cut across
I must
different
say,
cultures?
I think with our practice, it's a bit of a mix.
Okay.
I was thinking about it actually the other day, and I think I saw more Afrikaans patients in Pretoria than what I'm seeing here at the moment. So I think the reason for it being is we are in a very student-orientated neighborhood.
Okay.
So a lot of students coming from different towns studying here does tend to visit the practice, and with Woolies being next to it, well, those students who can afford Woolies, they do come on this side. So I think there is a bit more of a various cultures that But yeah, predominantly I would say about 60% Afrikaans, 40% English.
And it's something that you're trying to grow to ensure
Yes,
that you.
yes.
Obviously, the area is also, like you say, a lot of things will depend on where the practice is located.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you something, but now I forgot. But oh, here it is. The practice is very clean. The practice is, it's very. It feels like it's a welcoming environment. It smells good.
Thank you.
The air is very fresh.
Must be the reception.
I like how you're answering that you're giving credit where credit is due.
Yes.
So you guys share ideas a lot within the team.
Yes. Yeah.
Or
So
is it just things come from head office and then you must just implement them?
No.
Or do you believe in working together, that every person in the practice contributes differently to the success of the practice?
yes, so we definitely do believe that. That's a core along the office.
Yeah, that's fine. These videos are very impractical. I don't announce that I'm coming. I welcome to a practice, so the sounds, the patience, I love that.
Just want to make that clear. It was unannounced. No, so I think for me it is very important that the team feels positive. And if you have a positive staff, they will definitely contribute to the success of the practice. Because I mean, most of the time if it's a busy day, I'm behind the wall.
So
They are the advertisement of the practice, and the interaction that they have with people definitely speaks volumes about the first interaction, especially if a patient is going to come back and actually make an appointment with you. I mean, we all know optometry is very competitive at the moment. There's a lot of practices, especially in Bloom as well. So we need to have that first interaction needs to be good. And what's nice about our group, because we're independent, each practice has their own owner, which works in the practice, which allows us to have the freedom of doing things how we would like to do it. So I always ask them for input, always ask them, listen, if you've got a problem with the software that we're doing, just make notes and we can send that to the software developers so they can change that for us. But yeah, I really want our workspace to be a very positive workspace, not only for patients but for employees as well.
I like that.
Yeah, we are called to invest in people's lives. And I also always say we are blessed to be a blessing, and that includes everyone, whatever status they are, or doesn't matter how much money they have or don't have. We need to be a positive example to everyone around us. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. This was short and sweet, man. I just wanted to get an insight or a perspective from a young optometrist, business owner, leader who is trying to navigate this entrepreneurial journey, this eye care environment, and you're doing a phenomenal job, and I'm excited about what the future holds for you. All the best. The things that you are saying, there are people with 10, 15 years experience who are not saying the things that you are saying. So if you keep on that trajectory, I'm fully convinced that the best is yet to come. You're going to see your business grow exponentially. In the midst of there being multiple practices, you will still find a way to succeed because what is at the center of what you do is your belief and your faith. And that is a powerful characteristic to have. You're not dependent on external forces. You're dependent on internal belief system that you have. So that is inspiring.
I want to end off that with just saying that I think we cut it off in the previous pause that we did in the video. But you asked me about what did I say to a young coming optometrist or entrepreneurs who's ending their final year now is find the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And for me it's a calling. I believe that we have been called by God to be an influence in the world around us, to impact His people and also to love people. And I think that's something that we as an optometry community can really start investing more. My philosophy is always if a patient comes in and doesn't have the funds, we shouldn't be able to say no to them because we've been called to much higher purpose than just giving them doses. And I think that just comes from my belief system. So for someone, if you're going to do optometry just because you want a car or you want to have money, it's not going to be worth your while. Find a reason, make it personal. Find that patient that makes it personal to you. That that patient that really appreciates what you're doing for them, because that's what makes it worthwhile. That's what makes you come to the practice. That's what makes you push on.
That is the best strategy. When I was still in practice in Joburg, and this is a quick example. One of the practices that I was working there 3 times a week for about 4 or 5 years, the optometrists there had exactly that approach. That we're not here to sell spectacles.
Yes.
We're here to change people's vision and lives.
Yes.
And he made a way
Yes.
possible. Hilton Maro, the principles that I learned from him in terms of how he cared.
Yes.
You know, people didn't see him as an optometrist.
Yes.
People would just come to talk to him about Hilton. Hey, I'm having a bad day. I don't want to come and talk to you because I know you will say something positive, whatever. So that is going to carry you. And patients, we used to do Hilton giving too many discounts. Giving too many discounts. But he kept doing that which he believed in.
Yes.
And patients came.
Yeah.
Patients came. And you got on the right trajectory.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely. Thank you.